In today's session, we are going to begin our class with the process of oogenesis in female, that is process of formation of mature female gamete or ovum is called as oogenesis. Now you have learned about the spermatogenesis. In male, the spermatogenesis begin when the boy reach the age of puberty. But in case of female, during embryo development only, the sexual cycle or the formation of ovum begins. The gamete mother cell, that is oogonia, are formed in the female ovary, and these oogonias are present in the ovary from the birth. After the birth of the female child, no more oogonia are added. Now these oogonia start the meiosis 1 division and enter the prophase 1 of meiosis, and there the division get arrested and the resultant cell is called primary oocyte. The female is born with primary oocytes, and these primary oocytes have a surrounding of a granulosa cells, and they are known as primary follicles. In the figure of transfer section which is in front of you, you can see the primary follicles. Now the female is born with millions of these follicles. These follicles later degenerate after the birth to puberty, and at the age of puberty only 60,000 to 80,000 primary follicles are left in each ovary. Now these primary follicles undergo the maturation to form the mature ovum. Now so the primary follicle will change to secondary follicle by forming another layer of granulosa cell. Then the secondary follicle changes to tertiary follicle. Now this change is a change which shows the development of a fluid filled cavity, that is called antrum. You can see this is the tertiary follicle with the fluid filled cavity, and within this tertiary follicle tertiary follicle, the primary oocyte completes its first meiotic division. The meiotic division is unequal, and as a result of which secondary oocyte and a tiny polar body 1 is formed. Now here you see that during this division the ploidy changes. Meiosis 1 is happening here. So meiosis 1 means the reduction division has taken place. So secondary oocyte will have the ploidy of N. Same way the polar body also has a ploidy of N. This secondary oocyte has lot of cytoplasm and nutrient in it, that is for development of embryo. Now this tertiary follicle further changes to mature Graafian follicle. Now this Graafian follicle further ruptures and releases the ovum. This release of ovum from ovary is known as ovulation. After the release of ovum, the ruptured Graafian follicle will form the corpus luteum, and this corpus luteum will further release the progesterone hormone. If the female get pregnant or if the ovum is fertilized, under that condition the corpus luteum retains for 9 months and continue the progesterone release for 9 months. And in case the ovum is not fertilized, then this corpus luteum slowly degenerates, and the ovum which was released is the unfertilized ovum, so it undergoes the second meiotic division as soon as the fertilization occurs. So here you will see that the sexual cycle in female is very different from the sexual cycle that you have seen in male. You can see the primary oocytes which are enlarging in the size. These primary oocytes are having the diploid number. Then they undergo the first meiotic division. As a result of that, the secondary oocyte is formed and the polar body first is formed. Now this secondary oocyte will undergo the second meiotic division only when fertilization occurs. If the fertilization is not occurring, that means the unfertilized ovum is secondary oocyte only. So second meiotic division will only occur when the sperm will enter the cytoplasm of the ovum. As soon as the sperm enter the cytoplasm of ovum, the secondary oocyte undergo the meiosis II, which is exactly the mitotic division, and result in the formation of again the two unequal cell, that is the ooted or mature ovum and the second polar body or polar body 2. So these are the differences when you look out for the oogenesis process. Please learn this process very carefully because it is very important from the board examination point of view. Now let us see the structure of female gamete, that is ovum. Now the ovum is basically having the large size, it is non-motile, it is surrounded by the layers zona pellucida and corona radiata. Within the ovum is a rich cytoplasm with lot of nutrients, a prominent nuclei is there. There is a lot of reserve material because this ovum has to provide nutrition to the zygote and early embryo for its development. Generally the size is bigger, it is non-motile gamete. If you compare it with male gamete, that is sperm, then the sperms are always produced large in number, it is produced less in number. The size of the sperm is small or microscopic, whereas the ovum is bigger in size as compared. The number of ovum produced in human is generally 1 or 2, not more than that, whereas in males millions of sperms are produced at a time. So these are, ovum is immotile, sperm is motile. So these are the basic differences between the male gamete and the female gamete. Now let us see the hormonal control of the process of oogenesis. The hormonal control is again regulated by gonadotrophins, which are released by anterior pituitary, that is FSH and LH, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. In female, the follicle stimulating hormone will regulate the process of follicle formation, that is from primary follicle to secondary, secondary to tertiary, and finally the Graafian follicle. This follicular development is regulated by FSH, whereas the LH is responsible for release of ovum, that is ovulation, and it also controls the release of progesterone hormone. So here is a chart drawn which is giving you the details about the hormonal control in female, the process of oogenesis. So kindly note down the important points, and in case of any doubt or any query, you can call. Thank you.